you guys. Good to see you today, all day viewers. You're looking better than ever. We're so happy you're spending your Tuesday with us.
Yes, and of course you're back, I hope you know, for another episode of our digital show Today in 30. Let's break it down, Hoda.
All right, we got it. Here we go. We're going to start with the confusion that surrounds the rollout over those COVID booster shots. Here in New York, there's a key ruling mandating vaccines that will impact thousands of teachers in the nation's largest school system. And we'll have a full report on that.
You might remember Hayley Arceneaux.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you forget this darling girl? Well, she was on our show a few weeks ago. She just made history as a member of the first all-civilian space crew. She's going to join us live, tell us all about that adventure, what's next for her, and mom comes. We get to meet her mom.
So excited. And then country superstar Alan Jackson, he opened up to Jenna, and he answered the questions that a lot of fans may have been asking. You're not going to want to miss this conversation about how he's doing, how his health is.
All right, let's get started. It's time for
Today in 30.
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is in West Virginia, which has the highest COVID hospitalization rate in the country right now. Gabe, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. This hospital just started to offer booster shots to people age 65 and older, but the county health department not far from here is now offering it to people 18 and older. It's just one example of a patchwork of rules across the country to get that third shot.
Despite a rocky rollout at vaccine clinics and pharmacies nationwide,
No, I haven't any side effects.
the president rolling up his sleeve for his Pfizer booster shot.
This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's why I'm moving forward with vaccination requirements wherever I can.
In the nation's largest school system, New York City, teachers and staff now have until Friday to get vaccinated after a federal appeals court green-lighted a mandate.
I think they should get vaccinated. Our kids are in there, and they have to be held accountable.
A separate vaccine mandate for healthcare workers drew protests. Some fear losing their jobs.
I just can almost go to tears right now because I have bills to pay like everybody else.
I went to work every day fighting like a soldier, like a veteran in a war, okay? And today, we're considered zero.
With more schools back in session over the past 2 weeks, children made up more than 26% of all new COVID cases. That's an 8% jump from 2 weeks before. Across much of the country, new COVID cases are down. But in places with low vaccination rates like Kentucky, hospitalizations are still high.
How busy are you now compared to a few months ago?
We have about 50% more patients and 50% more ICU-type patients than we had before.
St. Clair Regional Medical Center has set up this tent for monoclonal antibody treatments in its parking lot.
So I think for our community, it has made a big difference in keeping people out of that acute care setting.
Still, the hospital's vaccine clinic is so far only offering boosters to immunocompromised people, while here in West Virginia, the governor is urging everyone 18 and older to get them.
They're dancing around it with some gobbledygook language, but they're open the floodgates wholeheartedly and everything to say, go get the booster shots.
Here in Charleston, West Virginia, the number of cases inside this hospital, more than 100 COVID patients inside this hospital system. But the hope is across the country, as new COVID cases drop, that hospitalizations and deaths will follow suit. Meanwhile, the governor of West Virginia says that more than 12,000 COVID booster shots have been administered in this state so far. Savannah?
Gabe Gutierrez, thank you very much. We're back, special series, The New Space Race, and this morning, a remarkable woman who keeps finding new ways to inspire everybody.
We are speaking about Hayley Arceneaux. She was the youngest member selected for the Inspiration 4, the world's first all-civilian mission to space. We carefully followed her journey every step of the way, and we are so honored to have her right here in Studio 1A, along with her mom, Colleen. It's so good to see you both. We have a million questions for both of you, but Hayley, this is the first time we got to sit with you since you were up in space. You did that splash landing. We all watched biting our nails. What was the most memorable part of your adventure for you?
For the whole adventure to space, the most memorable part was when we called the St. Jude patients. And it's what I was looking forward to the most. And I have to say that was one of my life highlights. Oh. And some of the kids on that call, this live call, were my own patients that I've gotten to know really well. And so they had the sweetest little questions about what it's like to be in space. And hearing their voices just, it made it all worth it, all this hard work. It was just very full circle.
Everyone says, Hayley, that when you see, you're one of the rare people who have done it, you see Earth from space, that it changes you. Did you feel like that?
Yes. So whenever we got to put our head in this cupola, which was brand new. Our mission flew the biggest window that's ever been flown in space. And we got to get in it, and all we saw was the entire circle of the Earth and space around it, and seeing the clouds move. And it was life-changing. I just was filled with so much gratitude that I was able to see that and experience that, and felt like we really needed to take good care of our planet.
Colleen, I was feeling you. When she took off, every mother was feeling you.
Yes.
And how nervous were you to let your little girl go up into space? You wouldn't even do an interview until it was over.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk to you many times.
Yeah, we're like, let's talk to Mom. She's like, not till she's back on.
Well, I really thought the morning of launch that I would be in pieces, and I wasn't. It was incredible because I think SpaceX had prepared us so well, and we did dress rehearsals, and then we had a big crowd of a lot of family and friends, and I was with all the other crew families, and we had just so much support and prayers, and they just kept us all focused on just how exciting everything was. And I couldn't let her see that I was going to be, falling apart. She needed to have as much strength as possible to do what she needed to do.
But now you can tell her, did you hold your breath for the entire 3 days?
Well, they kept us very busy during that time. Good. We actually got to do a little flight, zero-G flight, and experience what that was like. They tried to keep us very busy, and then every day they gave us a briefing, and we got to see them in the capsule and what they were doing, and that helped a lot.
One of the most poignant images is of you holding a picture of young you when you were bald, and up there at zero-G with your glorious hair flowing around. And that was the image, Colleen, you said you posted on Facebook for Daughter's Day, and everyone said, you win, you win. But what did that image mean to you in that moment?
It's hard to describe. Part of me wishes I could go back and show my 10-year-old self that picture and say everything is going to be okay. But now I can share that picture with my own patients and show them that it gets better. Hold on to hope because it gets better.
And before we let you go, an amazing welcome back at St. Jude for you. This was a surprise, right? You knew they were going to do something. Did you know you were going to have a big old parade?
I did not. No, that was a surprise. And the patients had made signs, they had art, and it was so special. I will remember that forever. And this one little girl had a sign that said, I want to be an astronaut. And I said, you can do anything you want to do. Oh. And so it was really special to share that with them.
Well, you proved it.
You're amazing, Hayley. And Colleen, you did so good with this little girl of yours. You did so good. Wow. Thanks for being here with us, guys. We appreciate it.
Much.
Hey, everybody who's watching Today in 30. I'm Trisha Yearwood. You're going to want to stick around because I'm making brownies, and you're never going to guess what's in them.
We are back with Today Food, and this morning we are joined by country music star and best-selling cookbook author, there she is, Trisha Yearwood.
Right, known for her easy-to-cook and crowd-pleasing comfort food, she is out with a new cookbook today. Congrats, it's called Trisha's Kitchen.
While writing it, she also released a deluxe version of her Every Girl album and filmed a new season of her Food Network show, Trisha's Southern Kitchen. So Trisha has not been busy at all. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. We're excited about your brownies, but is that the kind of stuff we're going to see in your cookbook, Trisha's Kitchen?
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. It's everything from breakfast to dessert and everything in between. And this particular recipe is one of those things where go to bed at night and go, what if I put like potato chips and bacon in brownies? How would that be? Oh, so some of my craziest ideas come right when I'm going to bed at night.
And this is one of those cookbooks that you actually wrote with your sister, so you guys have a lot to draw from, right?
Yeah, she moved to town this year, and she and I haven't lived in the same town since we were in high school. So I love having my person as my neighbor, and she's helped me on all the books, and it's just great. We have these shared family memories, and then we have some new things that we do, and so it was really a godsend to be able to work on this and really focus on this during this pandemic.
I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about this brownie for a second, Trisha. When you're up late at night, like where is there a line in the proverbial brownie sand? Like, is stop it at potato chips or bacon? I mean, it could be like kitchen sink brownie, right? I mean, where do you draw the line?
You don't draw the line. That's the beauty of food. It's like if you can dream it, you can do it. You can do it. There's also a double stuffed brownie in this book that I also dreamed up of, like figuring out the inside of the Oreo and putting it in a brownie. So,
that's brilliant. The double stuff.
I will be your scraper anytime.
Trisha, walk us through it. Let's start with bacon.
Okay. Yes, it starts with bacon, and I've already done some of the work. So I cook the bacon, and then the secret ingredient that I heard you guys talking about earlier, not anything from the 70s. It is the bacon dripping. So in the pot, I already have your basic. I have your basic brownie recipe. So I've got butter, and I've got sugar, and I've got eggs and cocoa and flour, but also bacon drippings go in. So it gives it just a little bit more flavor. I know it's crazy. And then we're going to
But it doesn't get too greasy or whatever? It doesn't mess up your batter?
It doesn't, because you're putting butter in the batter anyway. So you're allowing for a little bit of extra fat to go in there with the bacon. So if you don't want to use the bacon drippings, just add a little extra butter. I'm going to turn the mixer on. It's going to be a little bit loud for a second because I'm going to finish adding in the flour. And this is just, like I said, this is your standard brownie recipe. This is before it gets crazy, except for the bacon dripping.
Okay.
And then once you've got all the flour in, you're going to add in some chocolate chips, and you're going to add some potato chips into the batter.
So those chocolate chips aren't melted. You're just doing like chunky chocolate chips in there.
Yes, exactly. They'll cook. They'll melt a little bit when they cook.
So Trisha, do you make extra like to save to put on the topping, or do you put it all in at once?
Yes. You put half of it in now, and then you'll put some on the top too.
I want it right now.
And I don't know how much time you guys have, so we don't have to do all this now, but I'll be doing it while we're talking. But chocolate chips go in. Half of the potato chips go in, about a cup.
Are those just regular chips, or are those the chips with the ridges?
Like a ruffle type thing?
These are the ridges, just because they kind of catch everything really well. And then about half this bacon is going into the brownie.
Look at that.
Use like a Lay's, things would slide off.
Exactly.
You gotta have some rigidity.
Yes.
So you're mixing it all in before the bake. I see.
You can probably use the weeds too. The weeds
I'm
chips.
mixing all this in, and then this will go into the pan and bake, and then we'll add some on the top where it actually goes in the oven.
You know what you can do? You could add a shot of rum to this.
While you're cooking it?
Yeah.
Or into the?
I don't know.
Or just drink the rum.
Well, there's hard cider soup over here. This is where the alcohol comes in.
Okay.
So then all of this goes into the pan, and I've lined this pan with parchment and sprayed it so that it's easy to get out of the pan later.
Look at that.
I mean, kind of,
doesn't love a
I
brownie?
don't know that I would even bake that.
Yeah.
I think I just eat it out of the bowl.
Just a spoon.
Just a spoon is fine.
All right.
And the chips don't get soggy, huh? You
Yeah.
still keep their crunchiness?
They keep crunchy, and then we're going to put some on top. Because when you bite into this brownie, you're going to taste the crunch and all that chocolate, and you're going to taste a
little of that salt.
Sweet,
Salt.
A lot of contrast.
Hey, Trish, could you just kind of take a shortcut, use like a box brownie mix, and just doctor it up with your stuff?
Of course you can. Make it work for you.
So you have to save some of the toppings for the top.
Yeah. Can we see it after you bake it? What does it look like? I want to see it.
You can't. Well, this is the final product. Let me get rid of this.
Okay.
Here's the final.
Oh.
Here's the beauty.
Let me see.
Mama.
Oh, my word.
So then you got your...
I mean,
look at that.
I mean, you don't take those to a
Please
party
take one bite.
That is
Please,
gorgeous.
we're begging you. Take one bite.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
for us.
I haven't even had breakfast yet.
I want that. I want to be Trisha Yearwood right now. Thank you for
We
making
all want to be Trisha Yearwood.
Congrats on the album,
Yeah.
the new season of the show, the cookbook. My goodness, you need some sleep.
Thank you.
You can check that cookbook out, Trisha's Kitchen. It is your fourth, and it's fantastic. And all the recipes, just go to today.com/food.
I'm going to make that.
Me too.
I like to
want
make
to have
brownies,
that.
and I think I could do that, Trisha. I'm going to do it.
them in,
I'll
bring them
put
I might add
I'll
mini
bring 'em in.
M&Ms.
Mini M&Ms.
Mini
I like
M&Ms.
that. You just
There you
keep
go.
adding and
Like
adding.
it. All right.
This morning, Jill, you got a great She Made It that is perfect for Hispanic heritage.
Yeah, this is a really beautiful story. I had the chance to talk with social media influencer Yasmine Maya. She went from doing makeup videos to creating her own brand, and she has overcome some incredible obstacles on her path to success and happiness. Take a look. Influencer Yasmine Maya has over 3 million followers glued to her makeup and hair tutorials.
Hey my beauties, welcome back to my channel. Bienvenidas de nuevo a mi canal. Yo soy...
At 30 years old, the wife and mom with baby number 2 on the way.
Oh, baby bump.
Is also behind Birdie Lashes, the brand she officially launched last December, with foam ink lashes and eyeliner that doubles as adhesive.
What makes your lashes so easy? Because I know a lot of people are like, okay, it's another lash, and I can't ever put them on myself.
Our lashes are vegan, cruelty-free. They're super ultra soft and they're very light. So you're not gonna feel them heavy. You just pop it right on top of the eyeliner and it will stay.
How proud are you of yourself?
I look back and it's unbelievable. Hi guys! Okay, welcome to my channel.
9 years ago, Yasmine started her YouTube channel, Beauty Bird. She was living alone and in limbo, not in the Southern California town where she was raised, but in her birth country.
I'm going actually through a really hard time right now.
Walk us through what your childhood was like and what you went through.
I was born in Mexico, very poor, like almost homeless. I didn't move here to the United States until I was like 1 year and 3 months. I grew up thinking I was part of this country. And it wasn't until I got to high school when my mom got deported that it hit me with the reality that I am actually an illegal immigrant.
Yasmine's father, also not a U.S. citizen, was deported shortly after her graduation.
I started realizing I'm not going to be able to apply for a job or even go to college and get scholarships. I was in fear of deportation.
Then, at 18, Yasmine boldly left the only place she had called home, bound for Tijuana, hoping to find work until she could return without worry.
It's not a life, honestly, to just live in fear. My boyfriend went after me and we ended up getting married.
But her husband had to patiently wait for her in the States. Even her parents had legally returned to this side of the border. Yasmine was on her own for 3 years, waiting on her green card.
Every day I would cry.
So how did you overcome that?
I started watching YouTube videos, girls doing makeup, and my mom was like, why don't you give it a try? And I was like, you know what, you're right, I have nothing to lose.
Short on cash, Yasmine receives a camera and cosmetics from her mother. But then she accidentally burned off her lashes while heating hot water for the shower.
My little tiny eyelashes. I was so sad, and it was like, no, I'm not gonna give up. I went out and bought my first false lashes.
Is that incredible?
Yeah.
Finally, reuniting with her family in May of 2013, she continued to post and rake in ads and sponsorships, and a new dream emerged.
I started seeing more and more people saying, I unfortunately don't know how to apply lashes.
She decided to develop an affordable false lash line for every eye shape.
Whatever fiesta that you can think of, this is for you.
Today, with close to 80,000 units of lashes sold and a multi-million-dollar portfolio across all of her businesses, Yasmine feels her success as a Mexican Latina immigrant is especially poignant at this time.
This is Hispanic Heritage Month. What does this month mean to you?
What I try to do is use my voice for other people that feel like they need to be quiet or ashamed of like where they're coming from. And so I take this month very serious to try and use it to our advantage and just be heard.
Any dream is possible.
Ask any country music fan, and they'll tell you Alan Jackson is country music royalty. Talking about an amazing career coming from a small town in Georgia, Alan is now one of Billboard's top 10 country artists of all time. He's got 35 #1 hits.
35, but life certainly hasn't been easy for the music star, and I recently headed down to Nashville to catch up with him and his family. Alan decided it was time to open it up to his fans about a medical condition he's never spoken about publicly. Take a look.
3 decades, Alan Jackson's been living his honky-tonk dreams. His warm, soothing sound and prolific songwriting has transformed him from a mailroom worker from Newman, Georgia, into a bona fide country music superstar. Since 1990, he's sold nearly 60 million albums worldwide, building his career with #1 hit after #1 hit.
Life always seems to bring something around that I want to write about that makes sense.
Alan Jackson was inducted into the hallowed halls of the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum in 2017.
I don't think any of them had any idea I was going to sell 60 million albums. They did not know.
What's it like to be here on this stage?
For a country singer and songwriter, it's just top of the mountain. That's what it is. It's hard to believe I'm part of this.
Even with all his success, he's as humble as they come.
Is it true that you still get nervous when you get up on stage to perform?
I still am more self-conscious, I guess, than nervous. I've never been, a real want to be in the spotlight kind of performer.
But being on stage now looks a little bit different for the 62-year-old. 10 years ago, he was diagnosed with a degenerative nerve condition affecting his ability to walk.
I've been reluctant to talk about this publicly and to my fans. I have this neuropathy, a neurological disease. It's genetic that I inherited from my daddy. It's called CMT, ironically enough, because CMT was the big part of my career.
CMT, also known as Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, damages the muscles in arms and legs, compromising balance and movement.
There's no cure for it, but it's been affecting me for years, and it's getting more and more obvious, and I know I'm stumbling around on stage, and now I'm having a little trouble balancing even in front of the microphone, and so I just feel very uncomfortable. It's not going to kill me. It's not deadly, but it is related like muscular dystrophy and Parkinson's disease.
How does it feel to say this out loud?
In some ways, it's a relief because I was starting to get so self-conscious up there, about stumbling around. So I think it'll be good for me now to get it out in the open. And so if anybody's curious why I don't walk right, that's why.
But the show will go on. The country legend plans to keep on playing.
I never wanted to do the big retirement tour like people do and then take a year off and then come back. I think it's kind of cheesy, and I'm not saying I won't be able to tour. I'll try to do as much as I can. So if I'm coming to your town,
we'll come. For Jackson, country music is in his soul, recently saying, quote, "Country music is gone and it's not coming back," suggesting Nashville's pop influence has changed country music forever.
I think real country music is really not part of mainstream country music anymore. And I don't want to sound like an old bitter country singer, but it's a different generation. I just hate to see the real stuff disappear completely because I think it's a great part of American history. Even though the instruments are going away, the steel and the fiddle, and I wrote a song about that on this album.
In his new album, Where Have You Gone?, his title track preserves the sound of country music's past. I
feel a little more freedom now because I'm not trying to worry about getting on radio and fitting into their limitations.
Jackson's songwriting is deeply personal. His music, a love letter to his wife and 3 daughters. Alan's been married to his high school sweetheart, Denise, for 41 years. How are y'all doing it together?
When I'm down, he lifts me up. When he's down, I try to lift him up.
I know you probably don't like the word legacy. Either one of you probably don't. I can tell. But what do you hope your legacy is?
I've always believed that the music's the most important thing, the songs. And that's what I'd like to, I guess, if I had a legacy.
Look at this little Jimmy Dickens, Dolly Parton. And as we walked through the Hall of Fame's rotunda, it was clear the soundtrack of Alan Jackson's life will forever be cemented in country music history.
I'm between George Jones and Hank Williams. You couldn't be in a better spot than that.
It's a good place to lie.
Just seeing their faces, connecting with some of the songs, that's what it's all about right there, is the music.
Jenna, you had such a thoughtful interview with Alan Jackson. What was your reaction when you found out you were going to have this interview where he was going to open up so much?
Yeah, well, I admire him. I think he's a really talented musician, and he's also super humble. Humility just is in every pore of who he is. And so I knew that it was going to be a hard thing to talk about, but he did it with such grace and compassion, and he loves music. He just lives to perform.
What is your favorite Alan Jackson song?
Remember When. I love the song Remember When, and it seems like a soundtrack to anybody who just wants to take in the little moments of their lives.
Be sure to join us tomorrow. Savannah got a chance to sit down with the one, the only Jon Stewart about his return to TV and what we can expect.
Oh, it's a really fun conversation, and Jill's going to be here with more Steals and Deals. Have you gotten the chance to listen to Hoda's new podcast yet? You haven't? Why not? It's easy. Just search for Making Space with Hoda Kotb on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, there Hoda will be, and it will change your life.
Goodbye.
It will.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.